Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Wippel and Steve Willits. We have basketball to talk about.
We have basketball to talk about. Indeed, it was regional action this weekend, a one-game tournament for these teams. If they win their regional game, they head to the Tacoma Dome. If they lose, their season's over. We had some good news and some bad news to report this week.
That's right. And stay tuned soon for some interviews with players and coaches. And first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Carrie Krause, who always supports us. Carrie wants you to know that regardless of the real estate transaction, she is here to help you 100%. So whether it's single-family residential, multifamily, condos, vacant land, commercial property, or even a business opportunity, Carrie can assist you. And even if she can't help, she will refer you to the best person for the job. Carrie takes pride in her work ethic and will go the extra mile to be sure that your buying or selling experience is positive. Call, text, or email anytime with questions or to get her working for you towards your real estate goals. So Steve, what do we have coming up?
Well, if Carrie were selling houses in Tacoma, she was doing rentals, I think that there's a few teams in the area that might be able to use her services.
Oh, that's a good hint.
Two of our girls' teams, Edmonds-Woodway and Lynnwood, both advanced after winning their regional playoff games. And we were fortunate enough to sit down with a few of the ladies that were victorious this weekend. We interviewed Mady, Burdett, and Missy Peterson from Edmonds-Woodway. We also interviewed Mikayla Pivec from Lynnwood. Let's take a look at those videos. And one of those teams that was trying to make it to the Tacoma Dome were the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors girls. And with me right now, Mady Burdett and Missy Peterson, two of the members of that Warriors team. A Warriors team that had to get matched up against an Auburn Riverside squad that had only lost one game all season. Final score Friday night, Edmonds-Woodway 58, Auburn Riverside 48. The Warriors, they're going to the Tacoma Dome. First time in 5 years, and first time ever for both of you. First of all, congratulations on a nice victory.
Thank you.
Now, a big game the other night for you, Missy. You scored 33 of the 58 points, a career high. What was it about that matchup that was enabled you to get your career total?
I actually got asked that question a few times, especially after the game, and it's kind of probably like one of the harder questions to answer. I don't know, in playoffs, usually every year, like this being my third year, I usually seem to like step up a little bit more. I don't know why it decides to, hit me in the head at that time of the year, but I mean, whatever. But I don't know, that game I knew was really important because we had already won 3 loser-out games in a row, and to lose the 4th one would have just been heartbreaking. But I know this was for like my team, and just because everything we've been through this season, like all the ups and downs, like it's just kind of like a roller coaster ride. I knew I definitely needed to step up being a leader and being a captain. So I went in that game and I was like, she's got to play her game.
And play it she did. Mady, I talked to your dad a couple of weeks ago after the Lynnwood loss. That was the first round of districts. At that point, it put you into the consolation bracket, which meant you had to win 4 straight games to get to the Tacoma Dome. Your dad said you were extremely confident and were almost guaranteeing that you were going to be playing in Tacoma this year. How did you know at that time that you were going to win 4 straight games?
I see what goes on in practice. I had no doubt in my teammates. I have full confidence in them. And really, we all just came together, and we wanted to prove people wrong. We were predicted to lose our last game by 12 points, and we won by 10. I think that just left a statement that we're here to prove people wrong, and we're here to win.
And Missy, you mentioned to me a few minutes ago off the air that when the last Warriors team made it to the Tacoma Dome, you were in middle school 2 straight years, and you went down and watched both of those teams. So you have a little bit of a taste of what it means to be a Warrior fan and get to the Tacoma Dome. What does it mean to you as a player to finally be going there?
Just going down as a fan, it was one of the coolest experiences ever, just to be there and experience it just in the bleachers watching. But to have the experience to be able to be down there actually playing and getting all the extra stuff that happens, like going in the locker rooms and getting the hostesses and just experiencing the whole thing is really cool. And it's something I've been waiting for since I was a little kid. And
we always talk about what it means as a team to get there. Mady, with you, it's a little bit different. It's also family. Your sister Allie is your twin sister Allie. Starts in the backcourt with you. What does it mean for the two of you to share this experience? And really, what does it mean for you with your teammates to also experience this? Two of you that have played with these girls for so many years now.
Yeah, it's awesome. I wouldn't have wanted to share this experience with anyone else, especially with Allie. She didn't want to play this year, but she ended up playing, and I think it's awesome that she did. I'm really excited.
So we just found out a couple of hours ago who your matchup is going to be in the first round. It's Kamiakin, a team that we don't really know a whole lot about around here. They're playing a few hours away from here, so really a team you never get to see in person. What do we know about them at this point?
We don't know too much about them, which a part of me kind of likes that, like we haven't really experienced playing them. They don't really probably know too much about us. But from what we do know, they're young. I don't think they have any seniors on their team. They start 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and I think a junior. And they're not as tall, but we're not very tall either. So, I mean, the matchup's kind of good. But, yeah, that's pretty much all we know so far.
So it could be a lot of fun to watch. That game's going to take place at 7:15 Thursday night in the Tacoma Dome. Again, that's the quarterfinal matchup. So if you win that game, you move on and play Friday night. Even if you lose, it's a double elimination tournament. So either way, the girls will be playing on Friday at the Tacoma Dome, hopefully on Saturday, possibly at 9 o'clock in the championship game that night. But first things first, 7:15 Thursday night, down in the Tacoma Dome, Edmonds-Woodway versus Kamiakin, and we certainly hope a lot of folks can come out and watch that game. Missy Peterson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mady Burdett, thank you. Congratulations on a great season so far and making it this far, and best of luck to you in the Tacoma Dome.
Thank you.
And another team that was playing a regional game this weekend, the Lynnwood Royals girls, a team that is the defending state champion. And with us right now, Mikayla Pivec. Mikayla, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, another year in the regionals and another victory for you. You got a 59-34 victory against West Seattle on Saturday. A West Seattle team that was ranked 4th in the state, and you wouldn't have known it by watching the game. It looked rather easy at times. You had a 15-6 lead after one. I think you led by 15 at the half. What was that game like for you?
They're a very good team. When we first drew them, we weren't the happiest, but we knew if we could beat them, that would eliminate one of the better teams in the tournament. And they have a 6'7" girl, and you don't go against a girl that tall very often. And so we tried to limit her touches inside.
Yeah, that girl is Lydia Giomi, and she's going to the University of Oregon to play basketball next year. She averages close to 16 points per game. 5 minutes to go in the game, and she had yet to score a point on Saturday. What exactly did you do to prevent her from getting her points?
Kelsey Rogers did a great job inside, working behind her, and then we tried to have somebody fronting her as well. So if they had to make the perfect pass to get it into her.
And this was a team you played last year also in the I guess it was the first round of the state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Did it help knowing that you'd already played against her before and you'd already beaten them one other time?
Yeah, playing in the quarterfinals gave us some confidence from last year, and we know their tendencies a little more.
So you're heading back to Tacoma. You won the state championship last year, a place that you've been now 3 years in a row. Compare and contrast the teams a little bit. What is different about this team this year than maybe you didn't see last year? And does it help knowing that you already have a state title?
Last year we had Monty Cooper and Danny Hayes were a big part of our team. And this year we have Caprice Bossing stepping into the starting lineup, and she's really improved a lot and worked hard. And she's really stepping up for us and being aggressive in transition. And having those players grow this year is really helpful. And this year I'd say we're quicker and longer than we were last year. We have some track athletes, and Caprice is going out for track, and I think Kelsey's going to go out for track too. So that'll be fun looking forward. But this team continues to grow, and we have a lot of experience at the Tacoma Dome, so that should help us this week.
And one thing we're not used to seeing at the Tacoma Dome, 3 Wesco teams, Arlington and Edmonds-Woodway both making it this year. Has to help knowing that you've played in one of, if not the toughest conference in the state, knowing that you've already seen some of the tougher teams around.
Yeah, it's good to have that experience of playing tough teams. My freshman year, Arlington and Lake Stevens made it, and we were the 3rd team that didn't make it to help 3 Wesco teams go. But this time, 3 teams made it, and it's cool to represent Wesco.
And we just found out earlier tonight that your first round opponent is going to be Prairie. That game's going to start at 5:30 on Thursday. Do we know much about Prairie?
We played them in the summer at the End of Trails tournament in Oregon. Beaten by 14, they're a scrappy team. I think I checked their roster, tallest players 5'11", freshmen, and a lot of 5'8", 5'9" kids, so we know they'll be scrappy and fast and quick.
And I know Everett Edwards, your head coach, isn't going to like that I'm going to ask this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think a lot of folks have been kind of looking ahead to a possible, what we thought might be a championship game. Everybody keeps saying Lynnwood, Bellevue, Lynnwood, Bellevue. Turns out you're on the same side of the bracket. If you do, in fact, win on Thursday, and if Bellevue wins their first round, you're going to see them in the semifinals. Is it kind of hard for you and the rest of your teammates maybe to stay focused knowing that you might be one game away from Bellevue already?
We got to take it one game at a time. First we play Prairie, and then if we do be fortunate enough to get that win, then we'll play Bellevue if they get past Mount Spokane, which I think they might. And Bellevue's a great team, and I think we'll prepare for them. But just got to work hard in practice this week and do the best we can.
And one last question for you. Again, you've already won a state championship. If you won this one, it would be back-to-back. What does it mean for you and your teammates knowing that you're trying to create a legacy right now for Lynnwood that they've never had before? I mean, do you talk about that a little bit and what it means to maybe win a second championship?
Yeah, it'd be great to get a second championship. We're trying to focus on last year because it's a whole new team and some kids don't have that experience yet. So hopefully if we take it one game at a time and continue to win, then hopefully we'll get the trophy back at our school.
So first game Thursday night, 5:30 in the Tacoma Dome. If they defeat Prairie that night, they move on to the semifinals. They'd be 2 games away. If they are fortunate enough to get to the championship game, that'll take place at 9 p.m. in the Tacoma Dome on Saturday night. Mikayla Pivec, thank you very much for coming on with us.
Thank you, Steve.
Congratulations on a great year so far, and best of luck to you in Tacoma this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Those were really good interviews, Steve. And you know, there was something that was discussed that didn't make it to the final cut, but we need to let viewers know about, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask the question to Mady Burdett, and we never got to it. But Maddie's father, Mike, who's coached both of those girls for quite a few years, Mike told them at the beginning of the season that if they were to, in fact, advance to the Tacoma Dome, which they have, he would run down Main Street in Edmonds in a Speedo. And I believe that's happening at some point on Wednesday. So if any of our viewers are out there and you're driving around on Wednesday and you see a middle-aged guy running up and down Main Street, don't be alarmed. We know who he is, and he lost a bet, but he'll put his clothes back on afterwards, and he'll be down in Tacoma fully clothed on Thursday to watch those girls play.
Yeah, good to know, and we'll try to get a picture of that so he has it
Or
for
more than one,
posterity. Yeah. All right, and you know, coaches, we talk with the players, but coaches play such an important role in the development of these athletes, and we were fortunate enough to be able to have a couple of them come in the studio.
Yeah, and under circumstances that maybe weren't ideal for them, and we thank them for that. I know this isn't an easy weekend, but Robert Brown from Edmonds-Woodway and Nalin Sood from Mount Lake Terrace, the 2 coaches for the boys teams that made it to the regional games, both of which lost their games this weekend, so their seasons came to an end. Both were gracious enough to come into the studio and to record interviews with us, really to talk about those games a little bit, but more importantly to talk about successful seasons. Both of them made it to the district championship game, which is not easy to begin with, and certainly the fact that they're going home early doesn't mean that their seasons weren't successful, and those coaches sat down with us, and here are those interviews. And the Edmonds-Woodway girls weren't the only Warrior team that was playing this weekend. The boys, who won the district championship last weekend, had their big chance to make it to the Tacoma Dome. And with me right now, head coach Robert Brown. Coach Brown, 21-2 season, if you count the district playoffs and the regular season. And your reward for that is you get matched up with O'Day, a very good team out of Metro.
Yes.
Unfortunately, fortunately, you got off to a nice start, 16-10 at the end of the first. But then O'Day started to come alive a little bit with 11 straight points. And they pulled away with a 73-61 victory, but certainly not a bad game for your guys. They played tough all night.
I played tough all night. I think, the tail of the tape is the free throws. But that aside, they gave me effort to the end of the game. The kids played hard. The way we play, it requires a lot of effort, and the guys never let me down. They haven't let me down for, like you said, 21-2. So they haven't let me down for 24 games. They just play real hard.
And it's a tough way that this tournament is set up. You get into the regionals, and it's a one-game tournament at that point. Doesn't matter if you are 15-10 or if you're 21-1. If you lose that game, you're done for the season. A tough way to end it, but really a great group of kids. And I want to make sure that we, at the very least, mention Jordan Rice, senior who's had a great season for you, and unfortunately went down with a foot injury in the first quarter and wasn't able to finish. But Jordan's been there all year.
Yeah, Jordan's been there all 4 years. And it was knee. It's his knee.
It was a knee, okay.
Knee, not his foot. But Jordan's been there all 4 years, and Jordan, the transformation Jordan has made as a young man, it's been pretty astounding. Kids think they know it all when they're young, and Jordan was no exception as a freshman and a sophomore. But as a junior and a senior, he made a huge leap in maturity. He's definitely one of our team leaders. You come to our practice, you're going to hear Jordan first talking, finishing his sprints first or up at the front. Just a huge leader, and the fact to not have him in a big game like that was a huge blow for us, but I just wish he would have been able to finish that one.
Sure. Another interesting storyline from that O'Day game, David Woodard, who's been your leading scorer all season long, not only did David transfer from O'Day, I didn't know this until after the game, but David's brother is one of the assistant coaches for O'Day. Certainly, I think they might have had a little advantage knowing how to play Edmonds-Woodway. I have a feeling his brother has seen them play once or twice this year.
I think he's seen them play once or twice this year, even though our games kind of clash with each other. But I know it's kind of probably bittersweet for their family because, you want to make that advance, but you don't want to knock your little brother out and knock off his dreams. So I know it was probably hard for them as a family. But David coming over this year and just being same as Jordan. huge leader. We had great senior leadership, and David's no exception. Not just the talent that you see on the court, but just the kid he is when in practice. He's just jumped in. He's been embraced. He no ego really. Just a really great young man. His parents are at every game cheering him on, cheering the whole team on, not just him. And it's been a pleasure to coach him. You wish that kind of kid. You wish you had him for more than just 1 year. But I consider myself lucky to have him just 1 year.
So what do you tell your team in the locker room after the game? Obviously, 21 wins this season. You had a 16-game winning streak. Certainly you want these kids to feel good about everything that they've done all year. Really a special group. District champions. I mean, we can keep going on and on. It's been a heck of a year for the Warriors.
It's been a heck of a year, and that's kind of why the net cutting at districts was so special. And I kind of told them, you have to embrace this part of it. At the end of the season, there's only going to be one team that's going to get to cut down that net. So the district cutting down of the nets and doing those kinds of things, those are all special. We try to embrace I told them embrace the grind. Because what they're going to enjoy and what they're going to really remember is those practice days and the time from November to February. That's the time you're going to remember, those practice days. Yes, this didn't end the way we wanted to, and it hurts, but the rest of it was just a fun journey.
And you lose 4 seniors. We already mentioned David. We mentioned Jordan already. Greg Luzinski's also going to be gone. Brady Edwards, but those 4 had a great year. But you have a lot of returning players next year, and certainly you're going to be one of the teams to beat in 2016, 2017.
I don't know about teams to beat, but I do have some returning guys that play really hard. I'm going to continue the example that the seniors that are leaving set for them, and that's a huge thing. I thank the seniors all the time. They set a huge example for the kids who are moving forward. So they have shoes to fill. I don't know if we're a team to beat, but we're going to go out there and we're going to play hard every game. Because that's what we expect, and that's the examples our seniors have set, and we're going to see what happens.
Well, it'll be fun to see what happens, but before we start looking too far into the future, it's been a lot of fun just being able to celebrate what these guys have accomplished this year. Again, district champs, Wesco 3A South champs, came so close to making it to Tacoma, but really a year to celebrate. And Coach Robert Brown, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for everything you've done all season. It's been a pleasure to watch the Warriors.
Hey, thank you for what you guys do. This is special. I don't know if the kids understand how special it is, but what you guys do for us is real special, so thank you.
Well, we enjoy doing it, and hopefully we'll be back here next year and maybe talking a week after this, perhaps maybe in Tacoma next year. We'll see.
That's the goal.
Absolutely. And the other boys team that made it into the regional game from the Edmonds School District, it was the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks. And with us right now, head coach Nalin Sood. First of all, Coach Sood, congratulations on what was a great season.
Thank you.
This is a team that you had a 6-14 record last season. You lose one of your best players, Brock Davis, early in the year this year, a player that you thought you were going to rely heavily on.
Sure.
And you were picked 4th by the coaches you were picked to finish 4th place in the South Division, and all of a sudden, here come the Hawks, and they end up in the district championship game.
Right.
You then, your reward for finishing 2nd at districts, I say reward, was that the WIAA matched you up against the 2nd-ranked team in the state, the Bellevue Wolverines.
Right.
And your team went over on Saturday to play at Bellevue College and played them tough.
Yeah, we had a great game against them. Had a bad 3rd quarter. Got down by 15, but chipped away at it. We told the kids in the timeout, this is still a 6 or 7 possession game. Just keep fighting, and it's a credit to the kids that we held them scoreless for about 8 minutes, made it a 1-possession game. They made the plays at the end, but when you lose a basketball game, sometimes it's discouraging, and sometimes it's just disappointing, and this was just disappointing. I couldn't be discouraged with the effort, the commitment, the desire of those kids. They gave everything they got, and they took a great basketball team. I'm not sure if they'll win it, but they have a chance to do well down there. Took them right down to the wire, so very proud of these kids and what they did, and it's just a credit to them.
And the final score was 43-35.
Yeah.
This is a Bellevue team that didn't average 43 points per game, right?
No, they averaged 67. We kept them at 43 with a couple foul shots at the end. They have 3 guys, Hen, Khan, and Kenny. They get 50 points a game between those 3. They're the big 3. We kept them at 24. And we talked about terrace basketball, but it's the kids going out and doing what they're capable of doing and buying into it. And the kids did it defensively, and it gave us a chance to win the game. Unfortunately, we didn't, but I'll coach kids like this any day of the week. They're phenomenal to work with.
Sure, and we already mentioned you won 6 games last year.
Yeah.
Essentially the same group of kids, maybe 1 or 2 additions there. But what was it about this team And what was different this year as opposed to last year that was able to get you guys to that district championship game?
I don't think the kids spent a lot of time thinking about the negatives of last year, which there weren't that many. It was just we weren't good enough to get over the top. We had a lot of close games, and they had a good off season. And when things aren't going the way you want to, you just keep working and working and working, and that's what these kids did. And I think there's something about they believed in the system, they had trust in the system. And with their work ethic as coaches, it motivated you just to work hard to prepare them. And they went out and did everything you could ask, and they got some confidence as the season went. But it was a credit to the seniors that they kept the team together, and their maturity and reliability every day at practice games was off the charts. I've been at Terrace for a long time, and this group will go down as one of the best groups to work with. I was in the locker room afterwards. It was emotional, and it was because it was such a fun group to work with. And I wish more coaches got to experience working with young men like that.
Sure. You mentioned the seniors. You have 4 of them. Talk about those guys a little bit.
Well, the 2 Gabes, they've been outstanding. Gabe Powder, he was our catalyst yesterday in the fourth quarter, scored 7 points. For a senior to end his high school career on a positive as a coach, that's really rewarding. And Gabe Altenberger, for 3 years on varsity, was very consistent for us, and he accepted his role, whatever it was. He was a point guard last year, a great defender and shooter this year. And then Derek and Shimron, they're like 25-year-olds and 18-year-old bodies. They are just mature young men, and they just brought great character to the program. And I'll miss working with all 4 of those guys, but they were the leaders for us, and the credit of this success goes to those 4 young men right there.
And your underclassmen, you've got a little bit to build on next year.
Yeah, we got some good young men. We'll get Brock back, the JVs. Got a couple kids that have come up through the program. They've still been turning out even though they've been done for 2.5 weeks. So they're showing commitment, desire. The league's going to be tough, but really excited that these young men will hopefully keep things going and keep us at a high level. The league's going to be really tough. I know you had Robert in here. He's got a good team coming back, but looking forward to seeing what things will be like in the 2A also.
So we will see. Again, 6 wins last year, 16 wins this year. And not only did you get 16 wins, you came about 2 minutes away from defeating the number 2 ranked team in the state that would have taken you down to Tacoma. Nalin, Sood, once again, a great season. Congratulations on everything that you and your coaches and your players have accomplished this year. We've had a lot of fun watching them, and we look forward to watching more Mount Lake Terrace Hawks basketball in the future.
Well, I appreciate it and appreciate all the promoting and exposure you get for the kids and the programs in the Edmonds School District. This is a neat thing that there's not a lot of coaches that can talk about, and to see what you guys do is just tremendous. So thank you guys.
Well, it's our pleasure, and these Hawks will be back next year.
Well, those coaches really did a fine job of managing the losses and really inspiring the kids, and that was wonderful to see that.
Yeah, and again, it's not an easy weekend for those 2 coaches either. They put a lot of time and effort into an entire season, and I think more for the kids than for themselves. They really wanted to see them have a shot at getting to Tacoma, and so for them to have to regroup and turn around 48 hours later and come and do this interview with us, not easy, but both of them very generous, and we appreciate them for that.
That's right. Now, just a reminder of the games in case people want to go down to Tacoma and watch.
Yeah, once again, back-to-back games too, so it makes it convenient for folks.
Very convenient.
Thursday night, Tacoma Dome at 5:30. Prairie plays Lynnwood, and immediately after that game, Edmonds-Woodway takes on Kamiakin. That will put both of those 2 teams 2 games away from a state championship game. And again, if they can get that far, that state championship game would take place 9 p.m. on Saturday. But there's also consolation games. So even if they don't win on Thursday, they could still play on Friday and possibly Saturday as well, as you'll get to keep playing as long as you don't lose 2 games. And both of these 2 teams, great season so far, and it would be great if we could go down and support them as much as possible.
Great. And we will come back next Sunday to wrap up what happened.
And hopefully talking about a state championship perhaps, or maybe 2 teams in the state championship. They play on opposite sides of the bracket, so stay tuned.
All right. Have a good week.